Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Pooch Patrol TV. Hope you've all had a really good 2021, a good start, or a decent start anyway, considering what we're going through at the moment. To kick off, we are going to be doing puppy training tips and tricks. Now this is going to be quite a big one and I'm quite excited about this. I've done a lot of work into these videos. So this is going to be part 1 and part 2 will be coming shortly. So buckle up, sit down, grab a cup of coffee and I hope you enjoy. Well, before we begin, I want to wish all of you guys a very happy new year. I hope you have been safe and I hope you are happy and all that sort of stuff, considering we're in yet another lockdown. So I'd really appreciate it if you please subscribe to the channel. It will keep you updated in all new content, and if there's any content, any training tips or anything dog related that you'd like to see in the future, please leave a comment below. Hope you enjoy. So over the course of the next few videos, what are we actually going to be covering? Well, first of all, we're going to go into some general tips. Just, some hints and some tricks just to get you started. Then we're going to explore keywords. Now, for me, I think keywords is very important because this will set your training for the future. Any training in the future, it's a good base to start from. And being consistent and using keywords and not confusing your dog or your puppy is going to be essential. Then of course we're going to go into chewing and biting. What puppy doesn't like to chew and bite? But how can we, prevent them from going too far? Then we're going to look into jumping. Some people like it, some people don't. Is it appropriate? When is it appropriate? And so forth. Toilet training is one I'm sure all you guys are going to be keen on looking at, and we go into this quite extensively. And then of course leash advice. It's going to be really important that you start your leash training early on, but how old is your puppy allowed to be when you start leash training, and how can you begin? So this is something we are going to be looking into. So in no particular order, over the next couple of slides, let's look at general tips. And I think the first one is fairly important, confidence. It's important to show you're confident in all your training, even if you're winging it or things just don't work out how you want or how you plan. By showing confidence, your puppy will take all this confidence for themselves and start to trust and understand what you're trying to teach them. If you lose confidence or start to doubt yourself, you become unsure and your training and your teachings become unsure and a bit obscure. And training then can become unmotivated and quite confusing, and your puppy won't want to or won't be able to learn from this. So as well as confidence, you need to be consistent. Consistency is going to be the key in all you do. Not confusing the puppy or swapping and changing tactics on a regular basis, and giving your current tactics some time. So basically, not everything works, but don't swap your training and don't swap your tactics week after week or day after day. You need to give it really good time, so give it 4, 5, 6 weeks. Keywords are essential, and it is important to decide these early on. I will go more in the next slide, and of course every method will work and every method will not work, and you will need to change tactics from time to time. But please give your current training method a good chance, and hopefully you will see and reap from these benefits. And of course you will need to be patient. You need a lot of patience. Like kids, not every puppy learns right away. They will develop in their own time. It can take days, weeks, or even longer. So don't give up, keep going, and if after a while you think a different approach or changing the tactics is needed, then try it. But like I've said, be consistent, don't keep swapping and changing. You're getting to know your puppy, so if you think tactic A doesn't suit your puppy, but tactic B might, then definitely give it a go. By showing positive training, such as rewarding the right behaviour with a treat, or lots of hugs and kisses, and lots of vocal encouragement, this will serve you well for all your future training. You need to mark a particular good behaviour, such as giving a paw with a treat. Sometimes high value treats need to be used to begin with, and what I mean by high value treats is not a little dry biscuit, but something like a fish, a little piece of ham, proper chicken for example, or a little bit of cheese. These are what are classed as high value treats, and your puppy will regard these higher than any other treats, and then hopefully they will then come along and the training can be progressed from this. And don't forget to give them lots of encouragement, so lots of good boy, good girl, give them a good fuss. So also, girls, ladies, don't be too over fluffy. Don't be too kind of high pitched and too excited. You just want a good boy, good girl, and give them a good fuss and ruffle their hair. You don't want to over stimulate and over excite your puppy. On the other hand, for men, you need to be more fluffy. Now, being more fluffy just means maybe have a higher pitched tone of voice and not be embarrassed when you give them a good fuss, or encourage them and say good girl or good boy and stuff like that. So men, you need to up your game, and perhaps ladies, you need to just quiet it down a little bit. Remember, never give up. Never give up, never surrender. Remember, it takes work, time, and a lot of love and patience. Never feel too disheartened if training is slow or doesn't seem to be working. It's not your fault. Dogs just pick up things at different paces, and they will get it in their own time with all your love and encouragement. So keep going, have faith. As I said, use high value treats, or maybe even change the style of training. But please, 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 never lose your rag and get angry. You can tell a puppy they have been naughty, and using the word no is vital. But this can be done in a strong, confident and firm way. So you don't need to shout, you don't need to bawl, just a strong no. There is no need to shout or swear, and no place to be violent or aggressive. A puppy will learn better, and your love will be stronger through positive reinforcement. Respect, trust, and that friendship is key. You will get so much more out of your dog through positive reinforcement, using treats, using keywords such and vocal encouragement and positive encouragement, than if you are violent, if you shout and so forth. Trust me, you want to train your dog to respect you out of love and not out of fear. But of course I know none of you guys will do this, because you won't be watching this if that was your sort of training. So recall is really important. This should be done quite early on, one of the first things that you teach your puppy. So a very basic technique would be to get on your hands and knees so that you are kind of at their level, and think of a key word. A key word I tend to use is come back. So for example, Joey, come back. When they do, praise them, give them lots of fuss, give them some good hugs and a little reward, perhaps a high value treat as well. And don't forget lots of good boys and good girls. Also, don't be too far from your puppy. Actually, the distance between you and the puppy should be quite close together. As you progress, you can then increase the distance. Once this has been mastered, try it when they are more distracted. So basically, to begin with, you need to be in a room where there are no treats, no toys, just a basic room where there's only you and your puppy playing. When you feel a bit more confident, go into a room where there's some toys, maybe where his dinner is, a few treats, and try it then. Another good tip is, once you increase your distance, try you being at one end of the room and the puppy being at the other end of the room, and then even in the garden if you've got a garden that's quite long. And as time goes by and you get more confident and your puppy seems to understand what's going on, just slowly increase your distance, but always do lots of rewarding, good boys, good girls, and treats. You can also say good comeback. So when you say, for example, Joey, come back, and then that puppy gets to you, you could be like, ah, good comeback, Joey, good boy, good girl, good comeback, and then give them a treat. Choosing a name has to be the most fun part of the whole process. But there is a lot to consider. Think about using a strong short name, Jack, Joey, for example. And they also need to be clearly heard. So a name that's a little bit weird, a little bit, I would say weird, but a little bit complicated. The dog needs to understand its own name, basically. Be sure that it's fun and associate the name with pleasant experiences all the way. So remember, when you call Joey, Joey come here, or hey Joey, just remember, be excited when you say his name or her name, and always, give them a fuss or something like that. This way you're associating their name with positive reinforcement. So house rules are also important for dogs. Be sure to decide what and where they can go. So for example, are they allowed on the bed, or are they allowed on the furniture? Or are parts of the house going to be out of bounds? And be consistent with this. Also, are you going to crate train? Crate training needs to be done at the beginning as well. So all good behaviour needs to be marked with a treat. Not all treats work. Some dogs like certain treats, other dogs like other treats. But also using high value treats, as I've mentioned earlier, is going to be key. Keep your high value treats just for training, such as ham, maybe a little bit of cheese, real chicken. I use sprats. They're a small fish, they're stinky, but the dogs love them. And you'll find that this will work really well. And then your normal treats can be for your normal everyday activities. Just remember, high value treats reward the dogs for their training, and they will associate a bit of cheese or a bit of chicken with, for example, recall. Whereas a little biscuit, they'll associate that with my owner likes me and they want to give me treats. Puppy socialising is very important and also needs to be done quite early on. So look into puppy parties. You can find these on Facebook, on the internet. Ask around. Puppy parties pop up everywhere. Between 12 to 16 weeks, they then can attend training courses if they have had all their vaccinations. So the key here is, have they had their vaccinations? Yes. Are they aged between 12 to 16 weeks? Yes. Then please think about taking them to puppy training classes. It's not just for training, it's also to train them and socialise them. This will help both you and your puppy with basic exercises and commands. It is vital to choose one that is fun and reward based. Avoid classes that use choke chains, got my false teeth in, and they don't shout and holler at the puppies. This means that the puppy is going to be really eager to go to these classes, and because they're eager and because they're going to have lots of fun, lots of friends are going to be there, lots of really cool treats and people who play with them and fuss them for being good boys and girls, they will enjoy it, and of course they will learn even faster. A good thing to try is to visit these puppy classes before. So phone them up, say I've got a puppy, blah 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 blah, can we pop in one day and just have a look to see what goes on? Any decent puppy training or socialising class will allow this. If they don't allow it, I would recommend not going to that particular one, because what are they trying to hide? Alright then, now we've gone through some general tips, let's talk about keywords. You've got your confidence, you know you need to be consistent. So what are keywords? What are they actually for? And why do I think they are really important? Well, in all the training that you're going to be doing, you need to think of a keyword. It's going to be important that whatever word you use that same word for whatever particular behaviour, be it good or bad, throughout the course of the dog's life. Now by doing this, your dog will know exactly what behaviour you want it to do, whether it's a good behaviour or a bad behaviour. He won't get confused, they won't misunderstand your training methods, and they know exactly what you're asking them to do. So remember, these are the ones that I tend to use, and they're my personal preference. You can use whatever you want for the same behaviours. You can put your spin on it. Just remember to be consistent. If you've got a word to prevent your dog from pulling on a leash, use that same word. And a keyword to stop them from jumping, use that same keyword. If you want them to leave something alone, same keyword from day one till the day they suddenly pass away. So to negative behaviour such as jumping, biting and all that sort of thing, something I don't particularly like them doing, I will use the word no. I use it a lot. I use it in a firm and confident tone. No. Joey, no. So there, for example, I was able to use the dog's name. I put emphasis on his name and emphasis on the word no, but I wasn't shouty and I wasn't aggressive. And as soon as they stopped doing that particular behaviour, we reward them with lots of praise and a treat. You can also add the behaviour onto the end of that word. So for example, no jumping. Joey, no jumping. When they do stop jumping, you can then reward that behaviour with a good boy for not jumping. Good boy. Don't forget, lots of praise. Make sure they have actually stopped jumping. Give them a little treat. Another good one is 4 paws. So the dog's been jumping, it's been pulling, and as soon as it's got its 4 paws on the floor, you reward that. So, Joey, 4 paws. Come on now, 4 paws. He knows you want to stop jumping, and he knows you want 4 paws on the floor. So remember, as soon as those 4 paws go on the floor, good boy Joey, good 4 paws. And again, with a treat, lots of fuss and lots of encouragement. Wait is a common word most people use, and it's normally used for crossing the road. So again, you can say, Joey, wait here. And while he's waiting, don't forget to give him lots of praise. Good boy, good wait. And if you just start to move, no, keep waiting, wait, good boy. And again, you're encouraging him and you're giving him a keyword, and eventually he knows that when you went to cross the road, and not just for any other particular activity, but when you say the word wait, he'll just stop, hopefully by your side, or just sniff whatever's around him. He's not going to run off or do anything silly. Now I use recall leads in a lot of my training. I find this is particularly good for actual recall, or just for not walking in wet grass and stuff like that. I found early on that I was getting tangled up with lampposts, trees, bushes, things like that. The dog will go off and start sniffing and kind of walking between trees, and it became a mess. So to prevent this behaviour, I decided to use the word decide. I also used a little bit of a tug on the lead. It wasn't violent, it was just enough to get the dog's attention. I would say, decide Joey, give him a little tug, and Joey would know that he wanted to come this side of the tree that it was sniffing, and it works really well. Again, lots of positive reinforcement and treats. Good boy Joey, good this side. Also, if you want to go left and the dog wants to go right, I use the word this way. But I also point, so if I want to go left, or if I want to go in a different direction to the way the dog wants to go to, I'll say this way, and then I will point. Sometimes you will need to just give a little tug of your lead, but as long as that dog can see which way you're pointing, he will associate that with this way, and he will hopefully be happy enough just to turn around and go that way. And also, if he gets distracted, he's seeing a dog that he likes, he's seeing a human that he wants to play with, but you want to keep walking, especially in a pandemic when we're not supposed to be really mingling with other dogs and other people, I like to use the word keep going. Sometimes I need to get a little bit overexcited for this. I need to make the word keep going more excitable than what he's seen. Sometimes that involves me pretending to go for a little run, and I will keep saying keep going, good boy, keep going. Make it excitable, lots of good boys, lots of good girls, and once you're away from that distraction and you've stopped running or you've stopped doing whatever you need to do, reward them, good boy, good girl. So when it comes to recall, I like to use the word come back. Joey, come back Joey. Using a name as well reinforces that key word. When he does come back to me, lots of praise and lots of good comeback Joey, with lots of treats. Especially with recall, I also like to use high value treats. Now, if you've got a bit of a reactive dog, or your dog's seen something in the distance like somebody throwing a ball and they want to play with that particular ball or something like that, I like to use a distraction method. Normally I will carry a tug toy with me, for example, and I will make that tug toy more exciting, hopefully, fingers crossed, than that person in the distance that's playing with a ball or has got a couple of dogs with them. What's this, Joey? What's this? Come play. What's this then? As soon as I say the word what's this, he knows I've got something exciting in my hand. I also use it for recall. So if I say come back and they are ignoring me, and as you know, some dogs, huskies for example, are stubborn. If I use the word what's this, make it exciting, come back, what's this Joey, what's this? He knows I've got a toy or a really nice treat in my hand, and hopefully that will encourage him to come back. And then hopefully also, if you're trying to distract a dog, by the time you finish playing, that distraction would have gone. Now, dogs have disgusting habits, as we all know. They like to eat, play in mud, eat poo, stuff like that. So the word leave is quite important. Of course you can use the word no, but I like to use the word leave. So if I've got a dog that wants to play in some mud or eat mud, as some of them do, I will also say the word dirty. At least that way he associates eating mud with the word leave and the word dirty, and hopefully over time they won't do it again. And don't forget, when they get away from that, you have to use praise, lots of positive reinforcement, lots of good leave, good boy Joey, good leave, and a treat as well. And if you're confident and consistent with all of this, over time your dog will get the hang of it, and because he knows what keywords are associated with what behaviour, what activity, you'll find training will be a lot easier for you. Well guys, I think we shall leave it here for now. It is quite a long video, but I think you'll find it really beneficial. Don't forget, we have other social media platforms here at